think it's very important to have a refresher course on this because every year, over and over and over again, we get this. I think it's been for the past 4 or 5 years where at least once a year, Oda has to remind us, like, the end is near. It's like on some doomsday prepper action. Like, for real. We went from 60%, 65%, then jumped to 80%. So 2 years, like, I swear to God, it's like we actually are doomsday preppers. Like, for real. The end is nigh. The apocalypse is approaching. Get ready. Get your bunkers out because Jesus is coming and demons are going to reign when he leaves. Like, why? Let's just get there, dude. Let's just get there. Goddamn. We'll handle the apocalypse once it happens. We're prepping too much. You already told us in 2016, and 2017, and 2018. It's like every year, hey, give a reminder, the apocalypse is nigh. So here we are, 2018. The One Piece manga is 80% finished, says Ichiro Oda. 2018. Oh my God, big deal. Sirens. Woo, woo, woo. Wait a minute. Oh no. 80% of the story is done. 20% is left. How much story is there? We have to calculate the amount of chapters? No. Guess what? Next year after that, 2019. January. One Piece creator, the end is near. Like, seriously. Doomsday prepping the piss out of One Piece. The end is near, but the series will just be over 100 volumes. Oh, okay. So now we have an idea. We kind of calculated like it'll be probably around 120-ish volumes, depending on how much content when it comes to Wano Country, and then potentially Elbaf, and then so on and so forth. And then it just so happens that the other day, it was announced, actually it was announced at the end of last month, early this month officially, that once again, that is the wrong footage, obviously, right? It was announced on the 2nd, officially, on Anime News Network, Shonen Jump teases One Piece manga is headed towards quote-unquote upcoming final arc. Now, at first, it's like, what are you guys talking about, final arc? What, final arc? We have so many different things to do to have a final arc. Wano Country is not the end. No! What do you mean, like Wano Country in the final war? What about Raftel? What about actually facing off against Blackbeard? What about fighting their dreams? What about, like, all these different things? What about the Void Century flashback? What about freaking Elbaf? Elbaf! An arc that was hyped up since literally Little Garden? Hyped up even before Wano Country? Elbaf? Hello? What? We're not gonna gloss. No, we're not gonna gloss over Elbaf. There ain't no way. There ain't no way. That's egregious. That is sacrilegious. That deserves smiting from God himself. If Oda were to skip or gloss over Elbaf and treat Elbaf like the Reverie, God forbid, oh, there will be pitchforks in the street. Like, hey, yo. Get your Japanese ass out! It's time to pay the consequences of messing with Elbaf. Now, granted, this was actually announced at the end of last month on Twitter. So on Twitter, real quick, alright? Promotional phrase, quote-unquote, now is the time to reread One Piece to prepare for the last arc in the future. They did this before, too, when they're encouraging a lot of folks to reread the story, because, again, the time is now. Make sure your Doomsday prep is on point. The title of Volume X, Recommendations for Rereading Peak Preparation, like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Like, I'm trying to recall if Kishimoto, like, to the extent that Oda and his editors hype up the end of One Piece, I can't recall Naruto or Bleach or like any other story going through the same thing. But then, to be fair, this is One Piece. One Piece is like the treasure trove of Japan. Granted, Kimetsu no Yaiba is the king right now, which is true. However, that's done. Now, that being said, this is the actual promotional thing. Of course, I can read it. I'm not Japanese. But what is intriguing is the comments. So we have Arter from the Library of Horror. He says, not really the first time when, of course, when Oda's editor was talking about there being 5 years left, roughly speaking, exactly. He urged people to catch up to the series and whatnot before it was too late. That's still speaking in years terms. Also, arc/saga are the same word in Japanese, so it's likely means saga, which makes, again, the most sense to me. It wouldn't make any sense to have literally the final arc, like, after Wano Country. Makes absolutely no sense. Like, the last time that, because I remember seeing it before, and it was egregious. If you read Toriko, oh, that hurt the soul. That hurt the soul really hard, man. But this is One Piece. One Piece is, again, the bread and butter of Japan. One Piece literally has trains and amusement parks and towers and so on in Japan. This person, Senen Hoshi Otoko, responds to the artist, says, in Japanese language, they always use the kanji, whatever that kanji is, to express and say arc, like something alabaster arc. And in this announcement, they use the kanji, or different kanji, compared to the first kanji, which I believe is used for a bigger category than arc, and may contain more than one arc, which is saga, essentially. It's essentially saga. So the final saga is approaching, which we all knew. Like, no surprise, because again, last year, literally last year, One Piece creator, the end is near, but the series will be just over 100 volumes. And the latest volume of One Piece is volume 96, as far as I recall. That is the latest volume of One Piece. So we are 4 volumes away from 100, but it says it'll be just over 100 volumes. So again, that could be anywhere between, let's say, 105 to 120, just over 100 volumes. Okay, fine. Well, so again, we knew it was coming because we've gotten that literally 2 years prior, 3 years, 4 years prior. During the year of Sanji, during Whole Cake Island, they were saying it was 65% complete. Oda was saying it was like, yeah, the story is around 65% finished. Over and over and over and over and over again. We keep on getting this. And the Doomsday prep continues. Let's read the main article on Anime News Network, and then we'll get right into the rest of this video. So, Shonen Jump T's One Piece manga is headed towards upcoming final arc. Latest One Piece magazine volume has themed of rereading manga to prepare for climax. In an advertisement for the upcoming One Piece magazine volume 10 on September 4, this year's 31st issue of Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump magazine teased on Monday that Ichiro Oda's One Piece manga is quote-unquote headed towards the upcoming final arc, where again, we saw on the Twitter post, the kanji actually means saga, or the arc is including multiple arcs. The advertisement did not give any more specifics, because of course not. Because of freaking course not. All they're telling you is, hey, make sure that you got your bunkers ready of pasta and powdered milk and personal items and power and water and salt and just preppers. Every time we get this, I feel like I'm a goddamn prepper, man. And I'm telling you, I don't have that kind of money to prep for World War III. When the nukes drop, I'm out. Like, it is what it is. Like, peace. I'll see you guys in the next life. Like, I swear we're prepping, man. We're prepping. The advertisement made the reference as the 10th volume of One Piece magazine will focus on the theme of rereading the manga to prepare. That's going to be the theme of the goddamn magazine? Really? So once again, the advertisement made the reference as the 10th volume of the One Piece magazine will focus on a theme of rereading the manga in preparation for the climax. The 10th volume of the magazine will also start Boichi's adaptation of the One Piece A story novels, which is actually pretty damn dope. That's going to be pretty fire, because Boichi did the whole redrawing of the Zoro and Mihawk fight, and that was pretty good. So having the Ace story novels be done, adapted by Boichi, would be pretty fire too. That'd be pretty damn good. So now that we've gotten all that stuff out of the way, what does this mean for the story at hand? And what does it mean for actually manga as a whole? Because this does affect manga as a whole. Mainly Shonen Jump, but as far as I understand, Shonen Jump is the most popular category of manga in Japan. Or for that matter, across the world, actually. I could be wrong on that one, but I think I'm right. Either way. Number one, the story at hand. The current arc is right now in Act 3 of Wano Country. I can see Act 3 going on for, like, let's say, either a few more weeks or actually a few more months. Depends. Like, maybe like a month or two. Because Act 3 as far as I understand, in a kabuki play is like the longest act, either Act 3 or Act 4. So I can see this going on for a period of time. But what I think is guaranteed is that in a general sense, Wano Country is going to end around volume 100. Around volume 100. So let's say 99, 100, 101, 102, 98, whichever volume is going to be. I would again say like around 101. That's my guess. Where around volume 101 or volume 100, Wano Country is going to end. Because 100 volumes is a tremendous milestone, especially for the manga that sold the most volumes out of any manga out of Japan, period. So Oda would have like the craziest stuff, like the Luffy, Law, Kid, Kaido, all that crazy stuff would go down in probably volume 100, and the arc may end in volume 100 or volume 101, it depends. But what is important to note is that in terms of years, or at least in months, in an actual real-time time frame, because of COVID, Oda and Jump have been doing sometimes bi-weekly releases. One Piece in particular has been doing this bi-weekly thing, and for obvious reasons, COVID-19, gotta make sure that people are safe and so on. So, bi-weekly releases, sometimes weekly, and God forbid, if there's gonna be another major spike of COVID cases in Japan, then it could even go like tri-weekly, I guess. Maybe even like monthly for a period of time. But it depends on how severe things are. Because the last thing we all want is, as One Piece fans, is for Ichiro Oda to catch the virus. And he is tremendously affected by the virus. That would be a tragedy. When it comes to Oda's usual breaks, those are going to be taken, of course. But because of COVID, over the past few months, they've been very strict when it comes to working at the office and getting out content and so on and so forth. That applies quadruply to Ichiro Oda. It is what is there. Again, One Piece is the backbone of Shonen Jump and potentially manga as a whole. Even though right now Yaiba is king, we can't ignore the history of the best-selling manga in Japanese history. So getting folks to try and reread One Piece, though it could be counterproductive in many ways, it can be counterproductive. It is Shonen Jump's and Shueisha's and Oda and his editors' attempt of getting folks back into the scene when it comes to not only One Piece, because of the final arc approaching, and One Piece as a whole, but also, I think, in manga in general. Because what we are seeing nowadays is the rise of fierce competition, specifically with webtoons. Webtoons are doing very well at this point in time, extraordinarily well. That scene is rising exponentially slow globally. And this year we've got an anime for webtoons like Tower of God and God of High School. And there are a few more coming up this year as well. So the webtoon scene is growing exponentially so. And this, of course, is taking away a lot of readership from the manga scene. It is what it is, competition. And because of that, One Piece being the backbone of Shonen Jump, therefore probably the backbone of the manga industry in more ways than one, because it has the statues across Japan, it has the restaurants, it has the amusement parks, it has the towers, and so on and so forth. Because of all these different things that One Piece is fundamentally a part of, they're going to try and promote the piss out of it. Because Oda can only go for so long. The man, I believe right now, is nearing 60 years old. And as far as I understand, he's not taking care of his body as well as he should be considering his age. So Oda can only go for so long. And they understand that, we all understand that. And we've all known for years now that we are approaching the end of the story. And the end of the story is happening within the next like 5-6 years. Again, I'm gonna say 5 to 6, potentially 7 years, because again, COVID has stalled things out for a period of time that's undeniable. So at the end of the day, I do feel in part that a lot of times when they do this stuff like over and over and over and over and over again, it could be counterproductive. But on the flip side, I can understand it. I may do a greater theory video as to what could be going down in the near future for One Piece because of this news. But for now, I'm calling it a video. I'm gonna catch you guys and gals later. Take care and have a nice night.